Hello guys, so today I'm going to show you how I make my thumbnails. I mean, it's kind of a tutorial, it kind of isn't, it's just so you can kind of see how I make them. Maybe you can get some tips from my video if you're struggling with your thumbnails. All my knowledge about making them is literally come from YouTube videos myself, so if I can help you in some kind of way, then great. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. So you want to create a new file. Obviously, I always use 1920 by 1080. Simple as that. You can downscale it after if you need to, because YouTube only allows you to have up to 2 megabytes upload on the thumbnails. If anything goes over that, they won't let you upload the thumbnail basically. So I just use the 1920 by 1080. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start by putting a background there. So thumbnails, I already got some downloaded, so I'm going to use that as my background. All these Verdansk, Caldera, Fortune Keeps, and Rebirth Island pictures you can download from a website, which I'll link it down below in the description. It just saves you time going Googling scenery from, you know, any of the maps in Warzone, or going actually in-game and taking screenshots with it, which is quite hard, obviously. So I'll link it in the description below. So what I'll do is I'll drag this onto here. Perfect. What I'll do as well, same time, is I'll make some adjustments. Get rid of the background. Right. So image adjust, vibrance. Just make it a bit lighter, a bit more to stand out, really. To be honest. I think that'll do for now. I mean, we'll change the colors again after later. So now I'm going to take my character that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use him. So I'm going to try select subject, and hopefully it cuts all the background out. That's pretty good. That's not bad. So then you use a lasso tool, right click, I'll give you a copy. There's little bits still in here, but nothing's actually missing. Nothing's missing. There is sometimes when you use lasso tool, well, when you use select, it doesn't. It misses some parts off, and then it's just pain in the ass. What I'm going to do is just going to go in and crop it out. I think that's about it. Right, so now I'll take this guy, I'll drag him into there. Wow, big. So downsize it. Make him bigger. I think that should do. Yeah. Obviously, I'm just kind of throwing pictures in there now, but you'll see. You'll see how it looks in a bit. While I'm at it, I'm just going to do this as well. So select the layer where you got your background. I'm going to do filter, blur, radial blur, zoom, best. I'll leave about 15 roughly. So it just gives that blur effect kind of thing. Maximize a little bit more. Yeah. Because when you blurred it like these edges would have been transparent. That's not what you really want. Right, so we've got this guy in here. Let's see if we can just adjust the tone a little bit. Contrast and color. Yeah, it blends in pretty well. Now I'm going to open my picture so I can take my head and put it over his head. So we do the same thing. Select subject. See how well he does it. Ooh. It didn't do too well. Right. Sometimes when you do try to use a selecting subject, like especially if it's like your face or your character, it could be anything really. They try to cut, he won't do a proper job, so you kind of have to do it manually. So for me, it's going to take a little while. For you, it's going to take a second or two. Right, so obviously everything's cut, all the little bits in the background as well, I've gotten rid of them, so, you know, it'll look better now. So obviously drag it down back in here, again it's massive. So now what you want to try to do is kind of scale it to the size of the head of the character, kind of try and make it look exactly the same. Well, size anyway. Maybe he's got a big ass neck, this guy. Let's rotate a little bit. Yeah. Can't have it too low. That looked pretty good. Yeah, I think with that. Yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut his head out because obviously his head's quite round. It's weird. So I'm just gonna cut it out. I'm gonna kind of leave the neck for now because I might need it for a bit of smudging it together and blending it. Again, I just use a lasso tool to do that. So obviously his neck is kind of weird. It's so bad. Maybe make it a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, I think I might be able to work with that. Right, I'm just gonna use a razor. Scale it. Kind of. Opacity 100. We're gonna have to try blend this in as well, so try to get rid of that. Some bits here. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be quite a lot to get rid of, but for now, get rid of this here as well. Obviously, the neck tattoo is completely different. But we could kind of work with this, I suppose. Get the colours right and stuff. I'm gonna try use opacity now. Just kind of blend it a little bit. I'll do for now. As you can already see, it's taking shape slowly. Let's do a bit of tone adjustments, contrast, and color. See, it needs a little bit more vibrance. Oh. Color correction. Let's try to do color correction. This is where it just gets hard. I'm no expert at this whatsoever. We're kind of just winging it. Right, let's undo that. Just vibrance again. It just looks way too yellow. Skin tone. Skin tone. How do you get skin tone? Let's try to go back a bit. Make him look a bit pale. Or make me look pale. I want to go yellow like a Simpson. No, this is just pain now. Oh. I think we're getting somewhere. Yeah. That's what we want. I think we're nearly there. Oh. Nearly there. So why we need... No. It's probably painful for you lot to watch. Honestly, this is like the biggest pain in the ass ever to do. Colors, I hate color correction. Well, I'll try and get much of the colors up, it's just so hard. It's not a million miles away. Threshold. Oh, what am I doing? Levels. So it's nearly there. I'll tell you what, we'll leave it as it is for now. What I'm going to try to do is smudge it. Just smudge this together. So let's try and put it up a little bit. I'm in the wrong picture. That would help. So I think smudge that a little bit. So it kind of blends. Yeah, actually doesn't look bad. Like I said, remember these thumbnails are gonna be tiny, so you don't need to make so much detail on it. Just so it kind of looks like you belong in it. That's all it needs to look like. Don't worry about the highlights kind of not being there yet. So I think we're winning. I would say we're winning. So what I'm gonna try to do is a gradient on it. There is different ways I would go about things doing, but this is quite easy really. So I need black. Yeah. So there's some shadows from there, but I don't need it to be like that. See, doing this is so hard. I think that looks pretty good. Doesn't look bad at all. I'm quite impressed with myself. So let's see this bit of light there. So what we're gonna do is adjustments, hue, saturation, and make it a clipping mask. Go to white, and then what you're gonna do is Control I, so you invert it. So take your paintbrush then, opacity, turn that down, hardness, that's 0 already, because you want it to be quite smooth and soft. So swap that around. Just kind of want to match up a little bit. Like that. Don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to add here a little bit as well. Just some little light features, that's about it. To be honest, I think that's actually fine. Doesn't look too bad. It might have to upscale it though, this whole thing. Ooh. Are you not taking gradient with you? The gradient as well. Ah. Surely that should follow. Yeah, it did, it did. So, make it a little bit bigger again. Let's be honest. It looks actually pretty good. To be honest, this was a fairly easy tutorial. So, I believe the title of this one was going to be on... I'll do this separately. Warzone. I think 1.0, 1.0. I'm only naming it 1.0 because I already have taken on Warzone. But after you make a lot of thumbnails, you start running out names. You really do. You just can't think of anything where you can name this your next stream, or obviously if you're doing a gameplay, that's fairly easy because it's just a gameplay. So, I don't know. Let's say you win a match with a termite. That's it. That's your title. So easy. Right. So stroke. This I'm gonna do just color overlay, drop shadow. Warzone, stroke, gradient overlay. See, I need to change my gradient now. Opacity 100. I don't know how to use that. I'm gonna use something like green, maybe. Yeah, that actually goes pretty well. I'm gonna do from bottom to top. I like that. Scale it. Done. Oh, and shadow. Shadow. Same thing for one. So once you've done it once, you literally have to go, when you go in effect, you just have to select what you want, like gradient, drop shadow, and that's it. It just applies it automatically again, exact same settings as you did the previous one. So to me, that looks good. That. So what I'm gonna do with the character now is I'm gonna select obviously the hue, saturation, my head, and the character itself as well. I'm going to merge the layers down. I'm going to convert it into a smart object. And then I'm going to do filters, blur, radio blur, zoom, best, 15 again. So then you obviously get that smart filter there. So what you want to do then is take your eraser, scale it up hardness 100, opacity 100. You just kind of want to raise the blur, but make sure you clicked on the smart filter, otherwise you won't let you get rid of it. It won't let you raise the blur. You'll see why I'm erasing it in a second. I think that's all of it. So on here, you just want to go back in the black. Opacity, I'll turn it down to about 40. Hardness, you want it to 0. So now what I'm going to do is just re-add the blur. I'm going to need to turn the opacity up a bit. So I'm going to turn up to about 76 instead. This blur shocking. What's going on? I think I might actually need to turn it up more. Clean the hardness. Only don't even turn it up that much. Yeah, you can tell it a bit now. I suppose. You just kind of want to blur the edges. You don't have to do it throughout, but it just depends how you feel, really. Just blur that as well. That's what I kind of do. It does look quite kind of washed out at the moment, but once you put more filters on it and stuff, it'll make it pop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a new layer. There's going to be an overlay. I'm going to take my paintbrush. It's white already. You're going to put the hardness to about 16, opacity 100. But all you're going to do is just go around and place random dots on places. That's all you're going to do. You'll see why. You can just create this and, you know, save it as an overlay. A file that you can reuse all the time, but I just kind of like creating new one. I don't want it to be repetitive. Same exact file, same exact dots in the same exact spot. So keep placing, put some small, big ones, whatever kind of thing. Have a big one so it kind of pops out. I think that'll do. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to effect, inner glow. I don't want that. I kind of want a bluish color for this one. So we'll go like light blue, and you want to outer glow as well, so you kind of get that kind of effect. So you can mess around with it. You can place a soft light or overlay. I'm gonna keep it as overlay because that kind of looks nice. Right, what you want to do now is create a folder. See, you could have just done this from the beginning, but like me, I just do everything backwards, like really backwards. So copy all, move all your layers in this folder. Click in your folder, press Control, Alt, Shift, E. It's gonna create a new, layer where all your layers are merged together. So you're not actually merging your layers together. You still have them. You can use them the way you were doing before, but this just creates a one whole layer. So now, and then you want to press, obviously make sure you got your layers selected. Control, Shift, A. Give it a second. Then you get this screen, CARRERA. So here you can adjust all the colors and everything. So just to make it kind of stand out and pop out a bit more. So 10 exposure. I'll do contrast. So this is where it will really come together. Highlight. Yeah, I kind of want it like that. Shadows. Yeah, that'll do. White. Some people have these settings already saved, so they literally double click it and just kind of applies. But I like doing my thumbnails. I like my thumbnail to be different, every single one, not the same lighting and all that kind of stuff. Texture, I'm going to turn that up a bit to make it pop a bit more the character. Same with clarity and the haze as well, so it's not as hazy. Vibrance. Yeah, make it pop out a bit more. Saturation. I'm going to kind of leave the saturation at -1. So it goes from that to that. It makes a huge difference. Then obviously, you know the rest. Export as, blah blah blah. So now this is what I was talking about earlier, you know, downscaling kind of thing. So 2.6 megabytes, you can literally downscale it to 75%. That should be under 2 megabytes then. 1.6, or another alternative way, just put it back to 100. You can put it as JPEG. You lose a little bit of quality, with JPEG sometimes, but it's still the same outcome. Again, your thumbnails will be tiny, so I'm just gonna stick with JPEG. The right folder, great. These are all my thumbnails. There's fucking loads. So taking the Warzone 0.1. 0. As you can see, all these pictures I was gonna use that one, but I decided not to use that one. But yeah, so taking a Warzone 1.0. Now you can literally open it, and that's what it's gonna look like. That's probably like the biggest your thumbnail ever is gonna be anyway. He's not gonna be any bigger than that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I mean, it wasn't really much of a tutorial, but at least you saw what kind of tools I used. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just drop a comment below and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. I'll make another one which is a bit more complex, because normally I use a lot more highlights, shadows, a lot more layers over my face kind of thing to make it blend in a bit more. Obviously, this is not the best blending, it is just average, if even that. But I think it came out great, so it's not actually about the thumbnail. So, and also remember, like, if you're obviously new creator, don't spend too much time in thumbnails. Like this took me, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes, some kind of thing. Don't spend too much time in thumbnail. Just concentrate on other stuff, like your video editing, pushing your videos out, that kind of stuff. Thumbnails good, yes, they make you kind of pop out, stand out from everyone else, but don't spend too much time on them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one.